Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 2 of AI Tools for Job Seekers. I am Kirsten Gregg. Some of you know me as Trap Recruiter. And once again, I am joined by my illustrious co-host, Tia Tucker, Project Manager Extraordinaire. If you missed episode 1, what we did was just introduce this project we're going to be doing over the next month and a half or so, where we'll be showcasing AI tools that job seekers can use to enhance their job search. Today, we're talking about resumes and preparedness, resume optimization. But before we jump into that, we do want to do a little housekeeping. I'm going to flip it to my co-host.
Thank you. To my illustrious colleague, Kirsten. You do a mean introduction, not gonna lie. But for some housekeeping, we wanted to give some disclaimers to anyone listening or tuning in. Kirsten and I, neither one of us are AI technologists. Both brilliant, but not AI technologists, and we do not have access to the inner workings of generative AI or AI tools, like their large language data sets, their algorithms or models. So as we share our observations, we are looking specifically from the consumer touchpoint or consumer access perspective. You might hear some terms that maybe you've heard them in media or in your workspace even at this point. So I wanted to maybe mention them. You might hear them in following weeks. One of them is generative AI. And generative, AI is artificial intelligence that is capable of generating natural language text or images, videos, and it often uses prompts from the user or the consumer. There's also data scraping, which I don't know if we'll talk about that very much today, but data scraping is essentially a technique that websites use to collect data, and they're collecting natural language or human readable output, and then they're using it to feed any number of other systems, language models, or algorithms. So essentially collecting data and then usually doing something different with it. I mentioned large language model. That's an algorithm that can take various forms of data from something that is human written text, voice, etc., and give you an output that is very natural language. And it is generally considered part of the larger generative AI spectrum of technology, but it's separate. And then when we talk about consumer AI, I mentioned this earlier, we are looking from the consumer perspective, and we're looking at tools that are available to the general consumer. There are, more than you can imagine, amount of tools that are meant for business to business. So technology that is suited for and usually available only to other companies at the enterprise level. We're not referring to those. We're looking at things that are specifically available to the consumer and separate from business to business or software as a service type technology.
Kirsten? Took me a minute to get off mute, of course, because I'm slow. And I didn't know if you were done. But thank you for that. I always learn so much when you tell me terms, because Tia is very smart. She has an engineering background. So whenever there's a lot of times that I'm like writing stuff down, because I'm like, I'm going to let her finish, but I have to ask that means later. So in case anyone is slow like me, that's why we wanted to give her opportunity to explain the terms that we're going to use, and we'll probably do this again in the coming weeks, over and over. I'll maybe even add some new terms that we might even discover along the way in our journey and our search. So before I jump in to the first tool, saw a crazy stat today on my favorite place, Twitters. And it's a company called Pilser, I believe it's pronounced Pilser, Pilser. They're a data analytics company, and they mentioned that 90%, 90% of their job applicants were using ChatGPT to complete their job applications. Now, I did not find the study. I looked for it, but I didn't find it. I'm going to keep digging. I'm going to keep looking. But what I will say is that I don't know if people are upset about it. I don't know if they released that say that they're upset about it. I don't really know, but it kind of validated me and us and what we're doing right now, because job seekers are looking for tools to help them through the process. And I'm going to keep it 100 like I do. Sorry, recruiting teams. Sorry, TA teams. And this is something Tia and I do together. Help with ATS implementations. And it is not fun filling out an application. So if there's a tool that you can use, hey, no problem. And let's go back to last week. We use them. Well, I can't. Job seekers use them too. Let's level that playing field a little bit. All right. I just thought that was interesting. Anything you want to add? Yeah.
No, it's very interesting, and I second everything you said. I did look up the quote in the tweet, and I saw a lot of commentary. People have things to say about this. Someone even called it an arms race between employers and job seekers, and who can use the technology the best, I guess. So yeah, very interesting.
Okay. All righty then. All right, so first tool we're going to mention, I probably should have set these up, but I'm slow, of course. I can't do that. Well, the first one we're going to talk about is ResumeWorded. And that's ResumeWorded, ResumeWorded. This is a tool that makes or improves your resume. Some of the key little highlights I found was that number one, it's designed by recruiters. Love that for them. Oh, I'm not supposed to say that kind of stuff, right? Okay, that won't happen again. ResumeWorded. It's designed by recruiters. It gives feedback on your resume and or your LinkedIn profile. We'll probably come back to that when we get to the LinkedIn section. It does also do instant reviews, provides resume examples if you're don't know where to go, resume targeting, get a little bit more into that as well. And then it does LinkedIn optimization. Again, we're not going to talk about that part of it today. If you're having trouble getting started, there's also templates. They have over 250 sample bullets across industries, meaning when you're trying to explain what your job is, what activities you did in each role, they have examples to provide for that. And then another thing, it scores your resume and provides AI resume analysis. How to use it? Just create a free account. You can also opt into weekly mentorship emails that offer career insights, and that comes from one of their top career coaches. You can upload your resume, or then you select your career level. It has to be in PDF or doc format, though, and then it can't be more than 2 meg. And also, the ratings returned are in subject matter. They're in different categories. So they rate your impact, they rate your brevity, your style, and then how you have your resume organized into sections. Part is no cost to the consumer, but there is a more advanced package available called Premium. It starts at $75 a month, and you can do it monthly, quarterly, or for the whole year. And then, the pricing changes depending on which package you choose. They do offer discounts, obviously, if you do certain levels. Additional tools available with this service. Again, every one of these may not be available in the free version, but they are available if you do decide to get Pro. You can get your resume. It does ATS resume templates, ATS resume tests, ATS resume guide. There's a resume helper, resume proofreader, resume optimizer, Google Docs resume templates, sample resume bullet points, skills and keywords that you may be looking for your industry, resume action verbs. We all know that. We don't want to write in passive voice. And then resume examples. Again, that was resume worded. Tia, what's your first tool?
My first tool is ResumeNerd, and it is ResumeNerd.com. My first take on it is that it was very beginner friendly. If you are starting from scratch, or if you would like to start from scratch, you know, throw the old away and just say, okay, I'm doing this all over again. Um, there are features that support you doing that. It has a resume builder that does offer you some templates to choose from. I did notice that the templates were not too busy. I didn't see many that had a lot of colors in them or pictures and things like that, which support using and allowing them to be scannable by ATS. And then if there are guided prompts throughout that support you, as Kirsten mentioned with the other tool, um, writing in details about your work experience. And as you go through and you fill all of those things out, you could also go back and then change your template or change the design, customize it a little bit. There is also a scoring feature in this, which I thought was really nice. It had some specific examples of suggestions on how to make your the impact of your resume better, from things like how effective your wording is, like Kirsten mentioned, how concise. I didn't see any details about the what else the scoring feature has, but you might want to check that out. It also helps you identify skills as keywords if you share a job post with it. And the site, ResumeNerd.com, also has some resources for job seekers, like tips for creating a cover letter, tips for interviewing, things of that nature. There is also a cover letter builder. It is behind the paywall. So there are free features, and then there are some features that you do need to subscribe. What I did like about the pay scale, or the cost pricing scale model for this, is that you could subscribe in the very short term. So there's the option to subscribe for less than $5 a month, and then it goes through monthly or even yearly if you like. Um, Again, I think for for ResumeNerd, I would say it felt very end to end and just for creating a resume, and I thought mostly it was very beginner friendly.
I love that. I love that. All right, resume nerd and resume worded. Number 3, Kick, Kick, resume. It is an AI resume builder. So it is resume builder. So what you do, it also offers cover letter builders. I know y'all don't like cover letters. Has a website builder as well. We might get into that later with additional features if we go ahead and explore that. Has a resume checker, an AI resume writer, an AI cover letter writer, an AI resignation letter generator for after you get that job. Yes. There's also a feature called Career Map. And then the resume examples are broken down into categories, things like software engineer, intern, business, healthcare. So you can kind of fine tune your search when you're looking for templates and when you're looking for wording and things like that. Now, it is powered by ChatGPT. So we'll write your entire resume. You can also choose a template and start from that way. You just enter your job title, and then AI generates a resume for you. Again, you have to go back and read it and check it, but I'm just telling you, it writes a whole resume. You also browse resume examples to kind of see how you want your resume styled. And then there's a mobile app so that you can do this from anywhere, from your phone. You don't have to be on a laptop or desktop or an iPad. You can even do it from your telephone. Excuse me, your cell phone. How to use it. Another thing, you can sign in with this through LinkedIn, Google, Apple, your email address, and Facebook. I didn't mention, but Kick was the first one. Resume worded. You sign in with your email, or you can sign in with Google. So it didn't give the additional ones. If you there's different levels. So there's something called New Resume. That's just where you select a template, type in your job title, and then AI generates a resume, foundational resume for you. There's something called New Resume AI. And that's when you can, again, select a template, and that one like writes the whole thing for you. You can also import from LinkedIn if you already have a LinkedIn profile, or you can use a sample of another resume that's already written. Resume sections are returned. You have your personal information, work experience, skills, strengths, hobbies, and then there's additional sections that you can fill in. You can also rearrange them in any way that you want. You can add, remove any of the content that's already there. So you can design it and customize it the way that you want. Other features are analyzing your resume. So, is this good? How's this reading? You can get AI feedback, job interview prep based on your resume. So what questions should you be asking? What do they think? What questions they think people are going to ask you? If you put a certain bullet point on your resume that says that you fine-tuned a process or something, maybe, it might say, okay, they'll do this kind of question related to this bullet point. What else? There's also a section called recruiter feedback, where recruiter gives you, an analysis of your resume. The career map was another thing I mentioned early on, and that helps you see where you've been in your career, where you are currently, where you want to go, and then it identifies opportunities and milestones to reach your career aspirations. Last but not least, you can download it and share it via email, like I said, via LinkedIn, via Google, whatever you select. The free version has 4 basic resume templates. So with the free version, again, the version, 4 basic resume templates and 4 matching cover letter templates. You could also get 1 basic website template. That it also includes 20,000 pre-written phrases, 1,500 over 1,500 resume examples, and then you can download it as many times as you want. So as many times as you edit your resume, try to get your rating up, or try to fix any of those issues, or even when you come back and want to tailor it more to a certain position, maybe add some things, remove things, you do have unlimited downloads. For this one, the plans are $84 a year. Again, you do those monthly, or you can do those quarterly. And then another feature that is a paid feature is proofreading. And that one is $28 per resume. Yeah, a lot of stuff going on at Kickresume.
That sounds really cool. Okay, so our last one for today is JobHero, and that is JobHero.com. JobHero, I will say, I know has been around for, it's not new to the market for sure. It has a resume and cover letter builder, and the website has resources, career resources that include career guides. I noticed that it had a lot of templates to choose from. Some of those were more busy than others, and but variety is the spice of life. And it has an option for you to start from scratch with your resume, or upload an existing resume that it parses, and then you can edit and fill in the blanks from there. The costs for ResumeNerd are very similar to, the cost for JobHero are very similar to ResumeNerd. So there is a short-term fee that you can pay if you want to get beyond the paywall for a limited time. I think it's like 2 weeks or something like that. And then there's a monthly and yearly option that are around $25 a month, or $99 for an entire year. I think what I noticed when you're signing in. And Kirsten mentioned this. You have, in terms of accessibility, you have the difference between something being behind a paywall. So is it there with the free version, or are certain features available to you behind a paywall? And then you have what's called a registration wall. So one of the tools you mentioned allowed you to sign in with other existing accounts versus saying, before we get started at all, we need, your email address and, all of that. So I will say with JobHero, you can get started, but you won't be able to download your resume until you complete a registration paywall. I also didn't notice it offering any um, terms and conditions or information about data use and transparency upfront. I'm not saying it wasn't there, it just didn't put it in the forefront. And I'm sure you just have to go and click through and look for that information. Whereas for ResumeNerd, for you to agree to move forward at all, not a registration wall, you just you have your terms and conditions available to you. Um, so yeah, that's the quick and dirty on JobHero.
All right. So I'm going to forget already. So resume worded. Someone was.
resume resume kick was yours. Oh no. Okay, in order it was resume worded,
yeah,
ResumeNerd,
yes.
resume kit or kick resume, and then
Kick
JobHero.
resume. This is the senior citizen section. Okay. Resume worded.
ResumeNerd.
Resume nerd. Kick resume. JobHero.
JobHero.
I did it. All right.
You did it.
Yay. All right. So that concludes episode 2, resumes, but we are going to do more episodes with resume tools because there are so many and we want to give you enough tools to compare and contrast. 4 is obviously not going to be enough, but we'll be back next week with additional tools to enhance your job search. Please come join us. Again, I am Kirsten Greggs, and this is Tia Tucker, and we will see you very soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.